Lesson 17, Entering Transactions. In this lesson, we'll discuss about entering the transactions, which includes purchase, sale, payment, receipt, sale return and purchase return. There are more transactions in Busy that we will cover in further chapter. Till now we have discussed about configuring the company, creating masters, which was all basically a one-time work. That is, you have created the company, you have set it according to your requirements and created the masters like parties, items. Now with this chapter onward, we'll discuss about the day-to-day entries, that is entering transactions. Basically, entering transaction is a day-to-day activity, a daily basis work. For example, if you have an electronic shops, then daily you would require to make sales entry. Similarly, you can make entries for the purchase of goods that you have purchased, payments you have made, receipts, that is amount you have received from parties. So all these transactions are basically we enter on daily basis. In this chapter we'll discuss about these transactions which are shown on the screen, that is purchase, sale, payment, receipt, sale return and purchase return. First of all, we'll go to the transactions menu. On the screen you can see the list of transactions is appearing. Sale, purchase, sale return. There are a lot of transactions offered by Busy. First, here we'll discuss about the purchase voucher. Purchase means purchasing of goods from your parties. Whenever you make a purchase from your party, then you will make that entry in the purchase voucher. For this, we'll go to the purchase add option. Select the series. Currently only main series is appearing, as this is the series which is created by Busy at the time of company creation. We'll discuss creation of more series in our further chapters. Next, specify the date of the purchase bill number, that is the date on which you have purchased the goods. On pressing enter key in the date field, a stock updation date window has appeared. If you remember, we have enabled the feature of separate stock updation date in dual vouchers. So in the stock updation date window, you can enter the date on which the goods are actually received. Basically, in the date field, that is, you will enter the voucher date, and in the stock updation date you will enter the date on which the goods are actually received. These two dates can be different or can be same. One point to note here is that once you enter a stock updation date, then all the stock related reports will work on the basis of stock updation date and not on voucher date. Next is voucher number. Specify the voucher number. If you remember, in the previous chapter we have set the voucher numbering to manual for purchase voucher. So here you will enter the voucher number. You can enter the voucher number that you have received from your party, like we have entered Sony 2345. Next is purchase type. Very important. We have discussed purchase type a lot earlier also. Here we are selecting the purchase type as IGST 28%, which means this will be a central transaction in which tax at the rate of 28% will be charged. Select the party from which you have purchased the goods. Here we have selected the Sony India Private Limited, then the material center where the goods will be received. ITC eligibility we have taken as input goods and services, and then select the item. Here we are selecting the item as Sony Bravia LED TV and specify the quantity unit. We have specified quantity as 5 pieces, that is we have purchased 5 pieces of this particular item, and you can see on the screen purchase price is being picked automatically from item master. If you remember, while creating this item we have specified the purchase price as 36,000 rupees, so that particular price has been displayed in the grid. Next, apply the bill sundry. As we have taken the purchase type as IGST 28%, so we'll apply the bill sundry IGST 28% rate Busy has picked automatically. At the left hand side you can see the GST summary also, that is tax rate is 28%, taxable amount 1,80,000 and tax amount 50,400. Click save button to save the voucher. On saving the voucher, a GST reporting details window appears in which you can specify the original purchase bill number and purchase bill date, that is the purchase bill number and date of the bill that you have received from your party. The bill number and the date mentioned on the bill received from the party will be entered here. Click OK button. Next, a bill by bill adjustment of amount window will appear. In this window, first of all you will select the method as new reference. So here we are creating a reference for this particular transactions with its due date as 28th July. Now whenever we'll make the payment to the Sony India company, then we can adjust that payment transaction of the payment with this particular reference. Next, we are entering one more purchase voucher. Select series, voucher date, enter voucher number, and now here we are selecting the purchase type as LGST 28%, which means this will be a local transaction in which tax at the rate of 28% will be charged. Select party, Samsung India Private Limited, material center, and then item Samsung LED TV, of which we have purchased 5 pieces. At the bottom you will apply 2 bill sundries, CGST at the rate of 14% and SGST at the rate of 14%. In case of local transactions, you need to apply 2 bill sundries. One is CGST, that is central GST, and another is SGST, state GST. In case of central transactions, only 1 bill sundry will be applied, but in case of local transactions, you need to apply 2 bill sundries with equivalent tax rates. For example, here total tax is 28%, so CGST at 14% and SGST at 40% will be charged. At the left hand side, you can view the GST summary. Click Save button to save the voucher. Again, GST reporting details window has appeared, in which you can enter the relevant data. Next, bill by bill adjustment of amount window will appear, in which you can create a new reference for this transaction also. Now we'll discuss about the sales transaction. Sales refers to making of sales, that is whenever you are selling a good, you can enter a sales transaction. Here we'll enter a sales transaction by going to sales add option. Specify the series, date. On the screen you can see that voucher number has appeared automatically. This is because we have configured voucher numbering of main series of sales voucher to automatic. So voucher number has been generated automatically and you cannot change this voucher number. Next, we are selecting the sale type as LGST item wise, that is this will be a local transaction in which tax will be charged or specified item wise. That is, with each item we can specify the tax rate and amount. Select party, material center, select item. On pressing the enter key on the amount field, you can see item wise GST window will appear. In this window, CGST at the rate of 14% and SGST at the rate of 14% is displayed. From where now Busy has picked that CGST at the rate of 14% and SGST at the rate of 14% will be charged. This Busy has picked from the tax category tagged with this particular item. Next, we are selecting one more item, Glen gas stove burners. Again, on pressing enter key on the amount field, item wise GST window has appeared, and you can see on the screen CGST at the rate of 9% and SGST at the rate of 9% is charged. So with this item, tax category of GST 18% is specified. That's why Busy has shown the tax as CGST 9% and SGST 9%. If you open these items in modify mode, then you can see with Sony Bravia item we have specified the tax category as GST 28%, and with Glen gas stove burners we have specified the tax category as GST 18%. At the left hand side you can see the GST summary also, that 28% tax is charged on first item and 18% tax is charged on second item. In such a scenario, there is no need to apply a bill sundry as we have already specified the tax rate with each item. Click Save button to save the transaction. Create a bill reference for this transaction also and click the OK button. Next, Busy has asked you to whether you want to print the invoice or not. Click Yes button to print the invoice. Here a lot of formats are appearing on the screen. We'll print this bill in the standard format. On clicking the preview button, Busy has shown a message box that standard format for sales invoice is not configured. Do you want to configure it now? Click Yes button. Till now we have not configured or created any format for printing invoice. We will discuss this in further chapters. Here you'll click the Yes button and in the configure sales invoice window click Save button. Now on the screen you can see the invoice of the sales transaction. Item details, quantity, unit, price, CGST rate and amount, SGST rate and amount. At the bottom you can see the tax summary also, that is 28% is charged on this much amount and 18% is charged on this much amount. So complete transaction details are appearing in the invoice. Next, we are entering one more sales voucher. Here we are selecting the sale type as IGST multi-rate. That is, this will be central transaction in which multiple tax rate will be specified. Now you must be thinking that what is the difference between item wise and multi-rate transaction? With item wise option you need to specify tax rate with each item, but in case of multi-rate you only need to apply bill sundries for multiple tax rate. Suppose you have two tax rate of 28% and 18%, then you can specify those bill sundries and Busy will automatically calculate that on which item 28% is to be charged and on which item 18% is to be charged. This again Busy will pick from the tax category specified with item master. Select party, material center, select item. First we have selected the item Sony Bravia LED TV and then we have selected the item as Glen gas stove burners. First, we have specified the IGST 28% bill sundry. On the screen, you can see that this 28% is calculated on first item's amount, that is 43,500. Next, we'll specify IGST 18% bill sundry. Now, 18% is charged on 4,000, that is second item's amount. So busy automatically apply bill sundry as per the tax category specified with the item. So here at the left hand side also you can see that 28% is charged on the first item and 18% is charged on the second item. Multi-rate option is very helpful when you have only 2 and 3 tax rates and number of items is huge. So there is no need to specify item-wise tax rate. Simply apply bill sundries for multiple tax rates and busy will automatically calculate on which item which tax amount is to be charged. Save button to save the voucher. Will print this invoice also. On the screen you can see that here along with each item's tax rate is not being printed. The tax summary is simply displayed at the bottom, that is IGST 28% is charged on 43,500 and IGST 18% is charged on 4,000. Next we are entering one more sales transaction. Here we are selecting the sale type as IGST tax inclusive. Tax inclusive means that tax is included in the item amount. When you select the tax inclusive amount, then busy does a reverse calculation to segregate the tax amount and the item amount. Select the party, material center, item. On pressing the enter key on the amount field, an item wise tax information window has appeared which is showing the IGST percentage 18%. Glen guest of burner item is taxable at 18%. At the left hand side bottom of the voucher in the GST summary you can view that 18% is a tax rate, taxable amount is 3,389 and IGST amount is 610 rupees. So total of taxable amount and IGST amount comes out to 4,000 that we have specified as item amount. So in case of tax inclusive transaction, busy does a reverse calculation and segregate the tax amount and the taxable amount from the amount you have specified. Click save button to save the voucher. Click yes button to print the sales invoice. On the screen you can see the IGST rate 18%, IGST amount 610 and the price of item as 3389. This is the concept of tax inclusive transactions, that is you need to select tax inclusive only when your items are included of tax rates. Next we are entering one more sales voucher. Here we have selected the sale type as LGST 18%, item AMC of television. That means this is our service bill. If you remember, AMC of television item we have created as service item. You can see on the screen quantity, unit, price, you do not need to specify. If you open this item in modify mode, you can see the unit selected as not applicable, tax category services 18% and don't maintain stock balance is set to yes. Simply in this transaction you only need to select the item and specify the amount. There is no need to specify the quantity and price because that are not applicable in case of this item. Specify the bill sundry, CGST 9% and SGST 9% and click save button to save the transaction. Now we'll print this transaction and on the screen you can see the description of goods as AMC of television. Nothing is appearing in quantity, unit and price fields, simply the amount is printed. This means that AMC we are providing at 1500 rupees on which 9% CGST and 9% SGST has been charged. Next we are entering one more sales transaction. You can see on the screen IGST export taxable and IGST export zero rated sale type. IGST export taxable is for those exports that are taxable and IGST export zero rated are for those exports that are zero rated on which no tax is to be charged. If you open these sale types in modify mode, you can see in the case of zero rated sale type I have selected the option of zero rated. In the IGST export taxable sale type, taxable voucher wise and multi-rate options are selected. Select item, specify the quantity. As this is a zero rated transaction, so there is no need to specify the bill sundry. Click save button to save the voucher. On saving the voucher, an export shipping bill details window has appeared in which you will specify shipping bill number, shipping bill date and port code. Click OK button to save the transaction. Now on printing the invoice, you can see that no tax amount is appearing as we have not applied any taxable sundry because this is the case of zero rated transaction. Next, we will enter payment transactions. Payment refers to the payment you have made to your parties or payment you have made for certain expenses like telephone expenses, electricity expenses, and so on. So here we are entering a payment transaction by going to payment add option, specify the series, voucher date, then type as regular or PTC. PTC means post dated check. If you are entering a transaction for post dated check, then you can select the option as PTC and then specify the PTC date also. Then is the GST nature. You can see many options are appearing on the screen like not applicable, non-GST, RCM unregistered expense, tax paid expense, and so on. For detailing on all these options, you can refer to our video managing expenses in Busy uploaded on YouTube. Here we are simply selecting the GST nature as not applicable, non-GST. We are debiting Sony India Private Limited with 2,30,400 rupees and crediting HDFC Bank with 2,30,400 rupees. This means we have made payment to Sony India Private Limited through HDFC Bank. Click Save button to save the transaction. On saving the transaction, a bill by bill adjustment of amount window will appear in which you can adjust this particular transaction with the references you have created at the time of entering purchase voucher. So here we are adjusting this particular payment with the purchase we have made from the Sony India company. Next, we are entering a receipt voucher. Receipt voucher you will enter when you have received any payment or amount from your parties. Select series, voucher date, type regular PDC, GST nature not applicable, or advanced receipt. Advanced receipt you will select only when you have received the amount as an advance. We are crediting Arshia Enterprise Party and debiting HDFC Bank. Click Save button to save the transaction. Again, bill by bill adjustment of amount window has appeared in which you can adjust this particular receipt with the references created at the time of entering sales voucher. So we are adjusting this particular receipt with the sales we have made to Arshia Enterprises. Now we are again coming back to the payment voucher and now we'll enter the payment transactions for the expenses we have made. Select series, voucher date, GST nature. Here we are selecting the GST nature as RCM unregistered expense, that is, this is the case of RCM. We are debiting office maintenance expense account with 1200 rupees and crediting cash with 1200 rupees. Next, we are entering one more payment voucher. Here we are selecting the GST nature as registered expense B2B, that is, we have made an expense to a registered party, that is, we have purchased the goods from a registered party. We are debiting office maintenance expense account with 2000 rupees, debiting CGST input and SGST input with 280 rupees and crediting cash with 2560 amount. On saving the voucher, a registered expense window will appear in which we'll first of all select the party from which we have purchased this good or to which we have made these expenses. Then purchase invoice number, purchase bill date, taxable amount, rate at which GST is charged, CGST amount, SGST amount, and ITC eligibility, that is input goods, input services, capital goods, none. So here we'll select the input goods and this particular transaction adjustment will be reflected in GSTR2. Click Save button to save the transaction. Here we have discussed only the RCM unregistered expense and registered expense. For detailing on other expenses, you can view our video managing expenses in Busy uploaded on YouTube. Next, we will be entering a sales return transaction. Sale returns refers to returning of any sale, that is, you have made any sale and customer has returned goods to you. Select sales return, add options, select series, date, sale type, party. On selecting the party, an original sales detail window will appear in which you can specify the voucher number, date, sale amount, IGST tax amount of the original sales bill, that is the sale bill entered at the time of making the sale against which now the goods are being returned. You will enter details of that particular transaction. If the details as specified by you in this window and in the sale return transaction does not match, then Busy will show you appropriate warnings. Here we have selected the item as Glen Gas Stove Burners, specified the required bill sundry and clicked Save button to save the sale return transaction. Next, we are entering a purchase return transaction. Purchase return means that you are returning the goods that you have purchased. We'll go to purchase return, add option, select series, date, select party. On selecting the party, an original purchase bill window will appear in which you can specify the details of the original purchase bill. Select the required item, specify the quantity, specify the required bill sundry and click save button to save the voucher. If you want, you can adjust this particular transaction with any references created at the time of entering original purchase bill. So these are our sale, purchase, payment, receipt, sale return and purchase return vouchers. Hope after going through this presentation you would be able to easily enter these transactions in Busy. At the end of the chapter, we have provided certain exercise. You can view the exercise on screen and attempt it. Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.